Hey everybody, Double P here and welcome back. So today is Monday, September the 27th. And as you can see the time right here, let's scroll over the time. So today's September 27th, it's approximately 12:38 Eastern Standard Time. You see my account right here. Obviously I gotta blur out my details right here because I don't want to violate the terms and services of my brokerage account. So today what we're gonna be going over is how to short a 60 to 70% plus stock based on news catalyst and based on fundamentals. So today what I did is I sent out a trade to my Platinum Traders group, and as you can see right here, let's just pop on over here so that you see it here. So you see what's going on. Before I do that, well, let me go over here and do this here. Let me move this over here for you. So you can see right here, this is the text I sent out at approximately 10:15 this morning. Told them what I was going to do was a momentum trade. I'm shorting 5,000 shares of RCAT. My entry point is going to be 370. Looking for $2,500 profit. Stop loss is the tight 175 on this trade. Now, when I send out these alerts, I send these alerts out to my members. These are the parameters that I want them to take. Because I have more experience and I have bigger accounts, I'm able to either sustain a little bit more of a bigger stop loss, and I'm able to ride more profits. So the bottom line is I want my members to be able, and I want you, as you're looking at this live trading, I want you to be able to stick to your parameters. I want you to be able to stick to your profit and your stop losses, because at the end of the day, if you get stopped out on one trade, and I'm going to explain this to you as we go along, if you get stopped out on the trade, that's okay. You can always look at the trade, because when I send out a trade alert, that means that depending on the direction that I'm flowing, that I'm sending the trade at, you can, if you get stopped out, then you can say to yourself, okay, I got stopped out here, but this is the way the trend is moving. If you're looking at the charts, you're looking at the price action, you're looking at the volume, you're looking at the fundamentals, you're looking at the volatility, that will tell you that, okay, this trade is still solid. I have to wait for another entry point to get back in. Notice how I said my entry point was $3.70. Well, I'm going to show you right here that this entry point was breached a couple of different times. So let's go over here, and you're going to see when it tapped 370. Let me move this over here for a quick second. On a 1 minute, always in real time. Let's see here. I gotta move. My Mac is slowing down quite a bit here. So you're gonna see at 370, this is my entry point at 370. When I sent out my text alert, the text alert I sent out was 10:15. So that's when the trade alert went out for 10:15. And then you're going to see here at 10:15, 370. The reason why I sent my entry point for 370, well, if you scroll back over here and you look at how many times it breached and touched 370, you'll see that it touched it a whole bunch of times at around 9:30 to 9:45, and that window right there. It hit 370, breached it, tapped it for support, went above it, obviously, hit it twice. The lows hit it twice. So I saw that as a good entry point. As you can see right here, it tapped it again, went over, went under it. So that was support and resistance at the same time. And then, so I had to sweat through this trade as it went up and it hit a high. Why didn't I exit? Well, again, I didn't exit because of earlier support and resistance right here in this particular time frame right here, and this particular time frame right here. This was a 15-minute window or or sorry, a 5-minute window right here. And this was also, we can say that was also 9:37 to, that was another, well, 6-7 minute window right here where it tapped out at 370. So I was very confident in this trade to be able to say to myself, well, you know what, I'm going to stay in the trade. Even though it's past my stop loss, I'm okay with it. So let's move back over here. And right here was basically, this was the end right here for this stock, because the stock was basically, now, obviously I don't want to say anything slanderous, and I don't want to be doing anything libelous, so I'm just going to say this stock should not have been up more than 60 to 70% today, based on the price action, based on the volatility, based on news news catalyst. Regardless of the news catalyst, the stock shouldn't have been up that much. So that's another reason. Sorry, I got my nice big beard going on here. It's looking a bit itchy because it is locked down. So this stock shouldn't have been up the way it was. And we have some nice candles here, a big wick right here. We have another big wick, a big sell side activity candle right here. When you see a sell side activity candle like this, when you see this particular box right here, and you see sell side, and you see a massive dip right here, you know from this point onwards that it's time that this stock is just going to progressively just keep continuing to go downhill, which it did. So when I see this stock right here doing what it's doing, I know I have to get into a short position based on the parameters that I'm looking at. So let's scroll back over here. Don't know why my mouse wasn't working earlier on, but that's when I say to myself, okay, 10:15, let's go over the 10:15. Give me a second here while I look at my charts so I can get back into this. So roughly right around here, you're going to see the same thing. You're going to see sell side activity, sell side activity, sell side activity right here. Then you're going to see a nice big sell side candle. Then it's going to plateau off, but that's the entry point because it bounced over here earlier on in that 6 to 7 minute window when I was tapping 370. That's the entry point for me to get in 370 to be able to short. And it ran up. Sure, it ran up, right? And maybe I should have watched these. Maybe I should have watched this consolidation right here a little bit more closely. And when it probably hit around here, that's when I should have said to myself, you know what, maybe I will take another short position right around here, but I was confident with this short position right here to be able to go in there and take this trade because I knew based on what was happening with this particular stock. And another thing we do is we come over here, let's go down to the weekly so that you see exactly what I'm talking about. So let's go down to the 3-month weekly. You'll see where this stock is, right? The stock was at a low of $2.12. It was a high of $7.46, right? But look at where it was a high at $7.46 back in July, right? And from there, you see nothing but sell side activity, right? We'll come over here to the weeklies. We'll come over here and we'll go to the 30-day 1-hour chart. So we'll do a little bit more intraday. So let's open this up here. So we go from 212 again to the high over here, 424. But right here, you see, based on the Sunday momentum oscillator and based on the MACD, look at the slope of the MACD. Look at, it's like a falling knife. And you see the histogram right here, how big that is. And with the Sunday momentum oscillator, right here, you see it's completely overbought. It shot way above. It's around the 48, 49 handle, and it's just, the slope is just dropping on a very sharp angle, so you know this stock isn't going to go anywhere. It's not going to be going up. So let's go over here, and we go into the 5-minute candle, and then you see exactly, because the 5-minute candle will give you a really good, I look at the 5-minute candle as my setup for the day, and then I trade on the 1-minute candle. So the 5-minute candle is for the setup, looking at what's going on with this position, and then the 1-minute candle is for the entry and trading on the 1-minute candle to get in and to get out. Now today, we didn't get in and we didn't get out, but we still made a profit because I knew, based on the fundamentals, based on the news catalyst, based on what was going on with the stock over the previous last 3 months, the last month, intraday over the last hour, or the last 30 days during intraday for the hour, and the 5-minute setup, I knew the stock wasn't going anywhere. So you take the position, right here for the setup. You look at the setup, you look at the run up, you look at this nice big juicy sell side candle and this big 5-minute window right here. You look at the spinning tops right here. These are both spinning tops, right? So you know those are candles of indecisions, basically dojis. They're, well, they're not doji, so they're more like spinning tops. So they're just basically, you don't know which way the stock's gonna go, right? But then you look at the nice sell side activity in this particular window, and yes, this was an engulfing candle, or not really engulfing, but you can see because of the topping tails down here. So it's basically, this is a fight between buyers and sellers. This is a fight right here. This big 10-minute window right here, and then obviously the buyers took over, but then you know what? The sellers came right back in and sellers basically said, you know what? This is not happening, right? So when you see nice big candles like this, when you see these nice big candles right here, you know that it's time to short, and you know to stay in the position because you know what's going to be happening. And then I exited out of the position, right? You can see the support and resistance. You can see my price action: 401, 384, 370, 355, 345, 320. Should it have hit 320? It may hit 320 by the end of the day, or it may hit it tomorrow, open up, right? But that, for me, doesn't really matter because I'm in and out of that position. And let's show you here for my profit for the day. Right here, so you can see it right here. That was the profit for the day, shorting 5,000 shares for a profit of $900. My entry point, my exit point was roughly around $3 and probably a little bit, $3.50, $3.49, because it took my order time to get filled, but that was the end result right there. A nice profitable trade, albeit we had to sweat for a little bit, which is okay because that's what happens in the real markets, right? You can do everything right. You can have the proper setup. You can have the proper profit. You can do everything right. You can have the proper setup. You can have your proper parameters for your stop loss and for your take profit. You can do everything right. Then the market will have a mind of its own, and the market will say to you, you know what? We're going to do a double end over on you. And it happens, right? So why didn't I exit out of this trade? Well, because everything that's leading up to this talk for this lesson today and this live trading session is because of everything that I just told you. The fundamentals were off, the price action, the volatility, the volume, everything was off. The news catalyst was off. I think it was more of a smoke and mirrors type of a news catalyst because you look at their fundamentals, you look at their earnings, and you look at what the stock's been doing over the last 3 months. It just screams, you know what? This is just a headline to pump up the stock today, to get the stock pumped up, to get investors kind of like more, motivated to get into it. But it's all smoke and mirrors. So you kind of have to see through all that smoke and mirrors, see through all that hype, look at the press release, look at the press release. So let's go over to the news right here so that you see what the news was. I mean, this news is kind of like just, I don't consider it good news. I consider it junky news. So let's see when this opened up here. So you see the news headline here, Red Cat secures NASA contract for Mars mission, shares surge pre-bill. I mean, that's a pretty, that's a pretty big catalyst, right? That's a pretty big newsworthy story. But when you kind of look into it, you kind of just say, well, it's kind of just smoke and mirrors. You know, you have to understand the market to know the press, the news release, the context around the news release, but then look at the fundamentals, look at the price action, look at the volume, look at the volatility, and look at the intraday chart, look at the monthly chart, look at the weekly chart, look at the intraday 1 hour chart, and then you look at the 5-minute setup to be able to look at your setup. Then you trade on the 1-minute chart, then you're in. And then like this one here, usually we're in and we're out. This one here, I had to sweat a little bit, but it's all good because at the end of the day, $900 profit. So hope you enjoyed this lesson right here. With that being said, my name is Double P. We'll see you in the next training session. Take care, everybody. Cheers.